Thank you.
Question is the Assembly do now adjourn. Ms Chang.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I wanted to rise briefly tonight to highlight the successes of two small Belconnen hospitality businesses during the pandemic, the successes of which are all the more remarkable because they opened during the pandemic. The first is Cafe MAME, which softly opened, really softly, on 20 March, thanks to the restrictions that had started to be enforced. I'd been keeping an eye out for it for several weeks after they'd been posting tantalising images of their creations on their Instagram account. And it wasn't just me, it seems. Cafe MAME soon had a very loyal following, and I was very quickly part of that too. Despite their unassuming location tucked next to the supermarket, there is always plenty of movement in and around the front door, always complying with the physical distancing restrictions which have been in place, of course. It's not hard to see why, Madam Speaker. Owners G and Amy have glossy pastries on full display, and the coffee orders never seem to stop, a sure sign of a place that's serving good coffee. Outstanding sausage rolls, cinnamon donuts and cupcakes are a common feature, including gluten-free and vegan options. Occasionally there's a special on offer, and I have particularly fond memories of their cream cheese, blueberry and maple syrup croissant. But it's not just good food and coffee that keep people coming back, Madam Speaker. It's the extra effort that's put into making the experience special. There's the everyday warmth, but also the extra effort. On Mother's Day, every person who ordered at the cafe received a fresh rose, neatly wrapped. And just recently, they catered a morning tea that I hosted to thank teachers at St Thomas Aquinas in Charnwood. And not only was the food superb, but G himself helped carry the many goods to my car over several trips. After just over 3 months, it's not hard to see why it's a welcome and well-loved feature of and in Melba and Belconnen more broadly, and I congratulate them on their success in what couldn't be more trying circumstances. The other business that's been successful I'd like to highlight is Herbert's at Evatt. This has been the dream for Kristen and Eddie, as he goes by online, for some time, to create a real local restaurant and bar with a vision for a cosy, friendly and delicious experience. In early March, I had the pleasure of seeing the venue as the finishing touches were being put on. The level of detail and thought put into the venue, from the light fixtures to the mural, underlines the care that was put into creating the experience to match the food and the drink. And after a long time of getting things ready, going through all the necessary approvals, Kristen and Eddie were set to launch literally days away from opening. And I think a great deal of the Evatt and broader community was genuinely salivating. And then, well, you guessed it. For a dream that has always been about the experience of being inside this place, this was a huge blow. But Kristen and Eddie were determined to bring something to the Evatt community. They had a promise and they wanted to deliver. And so within a few short weeks, they did a huge pivot with their business model and opened as takeaway only, allowing the Herbert's experience to be taken home. That was obviously a huge risk. They opened on 2 April and I was pleased to be one of the very first to grab a cheeseburger, which has remained my go-to order. And I don't think anyone will be surprised to know that they were overwhelmed with support on that first night and continue to receive the strong support from the Evatt and broader Belconnen community. And like with Cafe MAME, it's for good reason. Not only is the food, beer and wine offering simply top-notch, it's the warmth of the welcome when you place your order and when you go in there that keeps people coming back again and again. Not to mention the almost daily puns and alliteration that gets a red-hot go on their Facebook page. With restrictions easing, Herbert's was the first place I went for a sit-down meal, and they're now busy hosting regulars, or as regular as people can be after just 3 months of opening, and newcomers inside, while still meeting the physical distancing rules, of course. Madam Speaker, it's not the year any of us expected nor hoped for, and that's especially true for hospitality businesses, and even more so for hospitality businesses which have just opened. I want to thank Herbert's and Cafe MAME for being bold, and thank the Evatt and Melba and Belconnen communities more broadly for so warmly embracing these new ventures. but it's not hard to see why they have.